Hello, my name is Jin Hong Zhang. I'm the founder of Full Potential Community. Follow your passion, play big with a community of support. We bring people who are following their passion together to support people who want to follow their passion. And today we have this amazing man here.
Give me five.
Barry Koral.
Koral, yeah.
And he called himself artistic farmer.
This is the grape area. These are actually ready to eat right now. If you would like, you could pick a few.
Oh,
yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, wow.
They're a little bit bitter, but not much. But they're really yummy and ready to go.
Wow.
Natural. And the way I share with people, I'm in the spirit of organic. There's no pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, or suicides on the produce. I was always a sensitive individual, always introspective and trying to find the answers of knowing how to express the feelings that I was feeling. And at the age of 10, I found myself starting to draw and being very quiet and going off by myself and always wanting to see things in a different way other than the way it was shown to me in our society. And for a number of years I continued on with the creative path of being more artistic, and eventually went to art school. And I felt a greater calling of leaving the city because I didn't feel my needs were being taken care of and I wasn't really surrounding myself with the nature I was longing for. So I moved out to California, and at the time I feel one of the greatest things I had done for myself was to let go of my past and be possibly open to the future, which actually started my journey. And at that time I joined a vegetarian community that taught me to love animals and not eat them.
Can you share a little bit about how's your life look like before you found your passion?
Well, I've definitely gone through a lot of processes. I actually have gotten to such a point where I was institutionalized. Wow. in a medical hospital, and them trying to feed me drugs and everything. I was in severe depression, and some of my friends actually thought I would never return. He thought I lost my mind or something. Finally, I connected with a psychiatrist that actually helped me to, through electrical shock therapy, which sounds really bizarre, but it helped to shock my brain back on track, and ever since then I've been soaring. But besides the psychological thing I went through, what I was doing when I first got into this, I wanted to start being more involved in farming. And at the time I was very, very poor. I was actually living out of my van. I was invited by a friend of mine who had a large acreage, and he had a farm on it. He let me park my van, and I was living in the grove. I would bathe myself outside with a hose, and it was really a challenge. I had all my clothes. They were hung up inside my van, and that was my house. So I had very little money, but at the time I met my former girlfriend, and she suggested that I start a savings account, and I start going to the farmer's market and realized I could start making some money by bringing the fruit from the grove where I was staying, and I would share the profit with the owner of the grove. I would sell it, and I would help him to grow it. So that was the beginning of my journey. I started saving money, and step by step the years went by. I bettered myself, and eventually I was able to caretake somebody's grove, and he let me manage the grove and sell all the fruit. And time went on. I actually moved around 25 times since I lived in California without having a home of my own. I always maintained the vision that I would love to have a place where I could really start unfolding and express my roots as an individual. Eventually, I found this place in the year 1997. I was very fortunate. I was able to save the money and put a down payment on it, which was substantial enough to allow me to start paying off this place and for me to have a homestead. and to start unfolding my passions and to express a reflection about who I am and the way I could best surround myself to reflect on who I am. I always felt about myself that I have the makeup of being a organized head of a corporation. Back when I lived in Chicago, I worked for an advertising agency. That was my background. But I never felt very comfortable in corporate America. And I always felt a calling to do it in somewhat of a unique way, but I never knew what that unique way was. So through the years of trial and error, trying different things, eventually getting into agriculture because it starts supporting my belief system about health. So I decided to focus in on something that was practical, a way of enforcing who I am and also serving humanity. So as a result, what came back to me is dollars. Mm-hmm. So then I took the currency, I started saving it, and eventually was able to buy this place. Ah. So it hasn't been necessarily an easy journey. It hasn't come to me. It hasn't been something that I inherited. I've inherited a strong belief system. I had a very good father that instilled some very good principles. He was from Europe and was a hard worker, and he's taught me to be a hard worker, but to have a greater depth of belief in myself, to be able to continue to never stop from wanting to be successful, being positive, and making a real contribution to myself and everybody around me for everybody on the planet. So if each one of us can instill that within ourselves, then we'd have an amazing place that everybody's putting out their 100% effort on all levels to be true to who they are at that moment, even if they're confused about who they are. Do it with passion, do it with energy, do it with excitement, do it with giving your all for whatever's going on in that moment. If you're going to create a salad, make it the most beautiful salad you've ever created. If you're coming to a potluck, make enough food for 5 people. Don't be chintzy. Be abundant. Even if you don't have a lot of money, at the time when I was getting into this, I would have $15 or $20 in my pocket, but I always give out bags of oranges. Because my mind was coming from abundance, eventually I start receiving that abundance. So it's not about what's in your pocket, it's about what's in your mind. And to do things in a passionate way that's 100% energized and fulfilling within yourself, and share that fulfillment with others. Who said money doesn't grow on trees?
Let's shake the tree.
Open your pockets. Your pocket's not going to be big enough with all the money that's going to come into your pocket.